What's up everybody, Chris from Florida here. It is time for a 1-year additional review of our 2016 Ford Mustang V6 with the 6-speed automatic transmission. This car is officially going to be it is actually already 9 years old now. It was built in April of 2016. Next year it'll be 10 years old since its build date. My wife has owned it since June of 2017. So if you're new here, here's some context. It's a bare bones, technically, actually I think it's like a fully loaded version of the V6 Mustang from back then. It's a 051A package, so it gets you the 315 rear limited slip differential, the blade spoiler, which we changed out earlier this year. It gives you the 18-inch dark finish wheels, which they call the foundry wheels, the power seat, and the fog lamps. And I think that's pretty much it that it gives you from that package. It doesn't get the touchscreen. That was never an option available on the V6 Mustang, which is a big killer, and it's something that I definitely recommend if you purchase one of these, that you definitely do that as an upgrade. It should be like a first mod type deal, but this isn't a daily driver for my wife anymore, so she has a RAV4 for that, which does have Apple CarPlay. She doesn't really need to upgrade the car that she doesn't really drive that often. Right now it has 87,400 miles on it, and I think last year it had maybe 86 max, so she really didn't drive it much, and she drives on special occasions. So overall, this car has been reliable, but it definitely has its American car issues, probably like older Ford type issues that appear. Let's just go over the quick ones, and you want to check out last year's video if you want to see the full in-depth of things that I had repaired. But to give you a quick summary, I had to replace the steering gear last year out of warranty, so that was something I had to fix, which I can't do because you have to program it. It was an expensive repair. I also replaced the starter, AC compressor and condenser, which is a known issue, water pumps, which are a known issue, but that was under warranty. The gas tank was under warranty, and the steering gear was expensive. It was about a $1,500 repair. There are some other repairs that I had to get done that could be wear items that you can call them. I think they're just called cheap parts problems. The sway bar end links, they're very prone on these vehicles to go bad. Now, I don't think ours were actually bad. They may have been going bad. These cars are known for very weak front control arms, especially if you don't have the performance packs, which was not available on the V6 Mustangs on the S550 cars. The steel, hollowed out steel ones are junk. They will fall apart within time, even on Florida roads, even on Ohio roads. They were replaced twice, and this time around when I replaced them with Steeda Performance Pack style arm. The sway bar end links are replaced, which I don't know if they were entirely bad, but I did replace them with Steeda as well. There are some benefits to upgrading them. They are the Performance Pack style everything, so the front end is much stiffer than a normal V6 Mustang. I highly recommend those as upgrades when they go bad, and they will go bad on you. Powertrain wise, it's been solid, knock on wood. So engine, trans, diff are actually well known to be very reliable. You gotta realize the 3.7 Cyclone in this car is different than the one that has the internal water pump. So the external water pump is available on these cars, and with the external water pump, these cars pretty dang reliable. The Fordism issues, that's one. I mean, definitely it was built on 420 out of all things. I can't say the Camaro has been even better. I've had to get things replaced. Steering wheel I had to get replaced because the leather deteriorated, the arm door pad, stuff like that. And I'll go over that again in my next month with my Camaro review. I can't say the Camaro has been perfect in regards to its Chevrolet-isms of things wearing down, but let's just say the Mustang has had a little bit more important wear items. Now, I don't know if this is because she bought it used, and maybe that 19,000 miles before her ownership that it was really rode hard. Now this year, so this next year, these are things I did not talk about in the last year video. I did the trans and the differential fluid, so that was something that it's technically overdue. You're supposed to do it at 60,000 miles. Obviously did it at 80,000 miles. Typically most of that mileage was highway, especially in its earlier life. So thankfully it actually made the trans especially much better, especially going from park to drive or drive to park or drive to reverse. Like that transition is so much smoother than it used to be, which is a sign that the fluid it needed to be changed. Something that's known with automatic transmission on these cars, which is the 6R80, which otherwise is actually one of the best transmissions Ford's ever done. They're known to be extremely bulletproof. They're a little bit outdated, but they're bulletproof. Especially people that buy like S550 GTs for drag racing, they're better than the 10 speeds in regards to reliability. As of yesterday, I had to get all 4 tire sensors replaced. Now, when we got the extreme contacts on the car in 2022, the sensors were fine. They had a good battery life. There was nothing wrong with them, so we didn't switch them out. Switched them out yesterday because they started dying. A bunch of sensor faults. And unfortunately, you can't do that at home. It's annoying as hell. We replaced them with OEM version, which I kind of regret on because it was $85 a piece for each one of those sensors. Stupid. That was on me. That's my fault. But it's not important. The one that truly did fail is the right side. But once one goes, they're all going to go eventually. I mean, you gotta say that you got a good life out of them if they've been around for nearly 10 years. Other than the trans and differential fluid change and the sensor replacement, standard oil change, tire rotation. This car has all seasons that are not staggered, so you swap them all around like a normal vehicle. Now, cosmetically, there has been a little bit of things that have either replaced, changed, etc. One was she wanted some personalization to the car. Even though it's not her daily driver, when she does drive it, she just wanted a little extra. So we changed out the standard intake system for a Roush cold air intake system. Hands down, was a great investment on the car. It sounds a little bit deeper. It's definitely deeper than the cold air inductions intake that I have on my Camaro. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more grunty. It's not going to make a difference. It's not tuned. You don't require a tune. Just to add a little bit of sound, a little extra personalization she wanted from it without adding an exhaust. Next was the spoiler. We added the Foose low profile spoiler, and in my opinion, it makes it look even better, especially better than the stock spoiler, which is now in my shed, and I don't know what to do with it. One thing that did break, I noticed it like a couple weeks ago, that the trunk latch cover is just gone. One piece of it's in the trunk, and the other part is completely missing. I have no idea where it went. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna replace that part. It's about like $100 and something for this stupid piece of plastic. I'm not gonna do it. If I find one at Junker for like $20, maybe I'll do it, but outside of that, it's not important. Apparently, it's kind of a known issue with these cars as they age. The second thing is the under tray, which is also the air dam. That was ripped off years ago, and so I found that I had some points stored from Ford that we just used to purchase that and replace it. So I replaced the entire under tray with the new mud flap is basically what it is. It may not be a big deal, but there are some cosmetic things I'm keeping an eye on. I don't know if it's clear coat failure from sun. I think it might be from maybe just wear. The headlamp on the passenger side is now starting to have a little bit of clear coat failure. It's really hard to see. It is a known issue on these cars as they age, and unfortunately this car is starting to show it. Maybe I might use a Crycoat, which is the brand I use to restore the plastic trim around the entire car, or just ceramic coat the trim around the car. Might go that route with the headlamp if it comes time, depending if it gets bad. The car sits in the garage most of the time, and we're planning next year to trade it in for the new Mustang GT or Dark Horse, whichever is available and whatever direction we go with it. I might just leave it the way it is, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. The bumper, if you remember last year, I did repair the bumper because the main issue on the S650 is the bumpers tend to, on the sides, that bracket is very weak and it breaks. Ours broke. I basically plastic welded that thing together and it hasn't moved since. Feel bad for the next person that has to take that bumper cover off. Even with all the faults, the outside looks fantastic. In fact, most people think that it's brand new still. As an owner, you kind of notice things differently than someone else. Like somebody may look at it and go, wow, that looks brand new still. And then you go, well, the bumper's been kind of like half-assed fixed. The headlamp's technically kind of fading on the clear coat side, or whatever it's doing. Some of it's on the inside, some of it's on the outside, which is a known issue on these cars. Like, most people would think it's a brand new car still, but there are some things that are starting to show their wear and tear just from age. So who do I recommend the S550 V6 to? I recommend the S550 V6 to anybody that was like us. You were younger, maybe working part-time, maybe you just got your full-time job, and you just want a cool car to drive every day. That's going to be pretty reliable and okay on gas. The V6 is going to be perfect for you. I also recommend it if you don't want the 5.0 or you can't afford the 5.0. So if you're older, you just don't want the 5.0, you don't need it. Or if you're younger and you just can't really afford the 5.0, whatever the case may be. Now, I always recommend the Coyote. The Coyote is a fantastic engine. It's what makes the Mustang a Mustang, honestly, in my opinion, in the modern era. The 3.7 is definitely better than the EcoBoost, in my opinion, and I highly recommend it as long as it's taken care of. The only thing about the V6 is it's not very moddable. You're not going to get much power out of it. If you want something kind of like the Camaro V6, if you just want something that's going to be reliable and very much quick, 0 to 60, it's much slower than the Camaro V6 because the Camaro is lighter and has a better transmission and has more power. but the Mustang still can hold its own 5.5 to 6 seconds, 0 to 60, depending on how good you are at launching the vehicle and the tires and setup and whatnot. It's going to be more of a vehicle that you personalize, but you're not going to really add no power to it. You can pro charge it, but like I said, it's another thing too, it's never going to sound like a V8. The best exhaust system for these cars is Borla's full catback system, which is if the exhaust on this car ever fails or whatever the case may be, I'd definitely replace it with the Borla system. It's never going to sound like a 5.0. Kind of keep that into consideration. The V6 does not get that later generation model years of the S550 got. It's kind of better interior materials, so leather materials, door pad materials. Kind of got a big up boost in 2018 with the refresh. When you get the V6, you're going to have to commit to the fact that if you kind of want the nicer materials or you want a touchscreen, you're going to have to add all that stuff to this car. This car has nothing from its base form. It's just kind of what it is. If you want leather seats, you're gonna have to buy the leather seats and get either the covers or an actual cat skin setup. Digital gauge cluster, like all that stuff is not available on the V6 Mustang. You have to add all that stuff. So take that into consideration. It's more of a car you're gonna have to build on or keep it stock. Now, do I recommend the Mustang V6 over the Camaro V6? I don't. The Mustang V6 is kind of like that last of the older style Ford designs and Ford engineering. No matter what you do to it, it's definitely, you can definitely tell that it's like an older design Ford. Compare that to the S650, which is a much more modern feeling Ford. Does not even compete. The Alpha chassis, the LGX V6, the 8-speed, 6-speed, 10-speed autos are way beyond. They're way sports car. If you are looking to take corners and you're going to go autocrossing, the Camaro is going to out sports car the Mustang V6 in general. The Mustang V6 is perfect if you just need something that's going to be looking cool and you can mod it to make it look great and sound great and whatever. It's going to be perfect for that. If you're looking for something that's truly going to be autocross ready, just get the Camaro V6 if you're looking for a V6 car. If you don't want a Camaro because of visibility or whatever the case may be, parts availability, which is, an issue, then I would just get a 5.0. Just save your money and just get a 5.0. So that's my honest recommendation. Get a 5.0 with the performance pack. Call it a day. There's your review. Over the year, not much besides just maintenance and some sensor replacements that I didn't want to do. I hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next month.